Hey beauties, good evening to you. So I couldn't even finish watching the news. I had to vlog on this particular one as it relates to the Jamaica civil servants group or the Jamaica Civil Service group. When I heard I think she's a president. Her name is Miss, it's either Miss or Mrs. because some people have double barreled names. So Miss or Mrs. Tisha or Tesha, I'm not sure how her name is pronounced. Clark something or other. And I said to myself, I could give that lady a solid hug and a kind of a rub on the back, like when you're rubbing a newborn baby or a little baby when they want to burp, sort of a rub to say thank you. And I was very moved and pleased when I heard when she said, we should have had a second meeting, because I remember when the correspondence, was sent out, they should have had a second meeting in January. We are now the third day of March and it has not happened. She explained that the Ministry of Finance is unresponsive, to them, reaching out to them to say what is going on. Because you made your propositions, we came with a counter proposal so that the people can be benefited starting this year, because they're outstanding mileage, I guess, back mileage, passenger mileage, salaries, everything that is money related to the public sector workers, the civil servants. Because some of the times when we think of public sector workers, we only look at what we call essential workers. But I keep saying to you that everyone in public sector is essential. Everyone. I can accept that some may carry a little bit more weight on the basis of, what should I say, especially if it's a life or death situation. So if you're talking about, like junior doctors, nurses, teachers, and so on, the nurses and so on, those in the medical fraternity may have to take a little bit more precedence because they're dealing with someone's life. I can understand that. The teachers dealing with learning literacy, the police officers dealing with, crime and violence and preventing, in a sense, life or death, you know, and so on. However, there are other, what should I say, foundation and bodies that help to be the driving force, whether directly or indirectly, to saving someone's life, for things to be done the right and proper way so you and I can walk the street in a good stead, so to speak, and be well. So it may not, be essential the way we look at essential, but it's still essential. All public sector workers. I hate when we just separate them. I can understand that maybe people are not aware. For those who may not be aware, everyone, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a civil servant, whether you're a nurse, doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, and she said they're unresponsive. The Ministry of Finance, they've been trying to reach out to them, and it is wrong. They said they're ready when you are. If you call a meeting tonight, they'll be ready tonight. And I'm exaggerating it for you to understand. If you're ready tomorrow, can you imagine a meeting that deals with the people's monies in one form or other? Should have been held in January. We're now in March. What has been happening? We have been getting a lot of delayed tactics since this local government election, which is not central government or general election, however you would want to call it. Let me remind you again, people, it is local government election. I hear people talking and saying, when the Prime Minister will step down and Mark Golding comes in, it is not general election. It is local government election. The Prime Minister is still the Prime Minister. At this present moment we're talking, and Mark Golding is still the leader of the opposition. So we have to get our information right. And the reason why I'm hitting on this, because people are giving people hopes for those who support the People's National Party. And when they realize, oh my God, it's not general election, they feel deflated. They're mixing up local government elections with election with general election. Stop confusing the people. Stop confusing the people. If you're not sure, people ask questions. That is why I encourage people to read, get your information. If I come here and I make a post, I will say I'm not 100% sure, so I will not get into it. Sometimes people say, why don't I do it? If I'm not sure, I'm not going to get into it. I may speak on, I don't even speak on periphery, really. If it is solid enough, I can talk about it, and then I will say I will come back at another date when I get more facts, and I will posit the facts to you. I'll put it out there to the fore. But please stop making people get the impression, that it is general election, and when they realize, they're asking when he will be sworn in, and when they realize, oh my God. And see, they know, the ECJ, just on the news I saw it, where they said the GLP has won the local government elections with all of the deliberations that's going on. But that's another video. I don't want to mix that in with here. This thing has to be resolved, either of the two for me. It really didn't matter, to be honest with you. It really didn't, because I was annoyed and tired of this madness and this crazy. Because, one horse cannot run a race, and you cannot have the same horse always winning. Neither can you have the same horse always losing. At some point, one horse will win. Sometimes for a time, you may have one horse winning. Sometimes you'll have one losing. For a time, but that fate will not always be. That's life. Life is like a cycle. It goes around and around and around like a hamster in a hamster's wheel. Let me tell you something. I am so annoyed, just overall, and the annoyance with this country. I can't, and Jamaica just feel chaka. It feels like when somebody just digging up a rubbish heap and just fling the rubbish all over the place and just pollute the atmosphere and pollute the ground. That is how we look at what is happening. I was shocked when I saw the president lady there. She's a president, vice president, some position she holds with the Jamaica Civil Service group there, right? That we are in March, and they're tired of it. She said the people are frustrated because people pay their dues and all of that, and it gives an impression when you're doing your own part, and then to follow the other people who are to carry that baton so that things can be done, not doing it. So it will make the people seem incompetent, in which they're not. But they can't move if the powers that be aren't moving. Let me tell you, man, this is just crazy and complete madness. I don't understand if some people believe that they're the only ones that were created to live this life and live it to the full, live it abundantly. I don't know if some people feel that they're the only ones who must eat, go to different places and so on for entertainment, enjoy life, while the rest of us just sit down there and wallow in self-pity and poverty, lacking money, even though work hard for it. Can you imagine? From January, the meeting should have been held. They posed an offer. You listen to the news and you get wind of information. And they said, no, you cannot do that. This is how you should be, what should be done. So get on board. But yet with the 100%, 200%, 300% was paid off. It was paid in the same month that the speech was given, if not the same. It was because I think it was somewhere in the middle of the month, somewhere of the same month. And because it was not time for salaries to be paid. It was not time for salaries to be paid. And the powers that be got it on both ends. So we can't blame one side. Don't blame just the government, because the other side got too. Their salaries were increased and nobody said a word. Nobody said a word. When people benefit, nobody said a word. Neither of the two parties said a word. They were glad for it. Naturally, it's money. It's money. They're not going to say anything. They're going to be in agreement with the government. They couldn't say a word. It's when it was when it really and truly looked bad. The leader of the opposition said, was trying to say that. And then he said, all right, I will give away 80% to charity. I don't know if he's doing it. I can't tell. I don't know. I really and truly do not know. But civil servants are annoyed as well, because they too are essential. And I'm not going to say that civil servants aren't essential. All of us as public sector workers are essential, all barring none. Yes, some may be at a different tier again, especially if it has to do with life or death directly, especially in the medical field. Teachers, yes, because it's moving you from duns to bright, from illiteracy to literacy sort of a thing, for those who teach well. But they have other civil servants who, they're like the backbone, they're like the foundation. Because they do this, the other areas can be dealt with properly, succinctly, sweetly, and good. It is crazy, man. And when she talk about the mileage, I wouldn't, Lord have mercy, the wear and tear of people's vehicles. And the hard work, look, Guys, follow me on TikTok. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share this message, please.